So we're gonna make a fast and cheap 100% cotton watercolor journal. This Strathmore used to make a journal, but they don't make it anymore. However, they still sell the same paper in a pad. So this pad with 12 pages will make 2 journals. If you just use a piece of paper you have on hand for the cover, you're gonna have 2 small cotton watercolor journals for about $7 each, which is a pretty good deal. It's not very fancy, but it's perfectly useful. So I'm using here some decorative paper that I had on hand, and I'm going to cut it to height. I'm going to leave a little bit extra width just to trim at the end. You can set this fold with either a bone folder if you have one on hand, or you can use the back of a metal spoon, or even the back of the smooth edge of a butter knife. So I'm going to carefully remove the remaining 6 sheets. I used the first 6 for the prototype. Remove any of that gum from the pad just to keep those pages nice and clean. I'm going to fold each one of these is going to be a single folded sheet. If I was making a fancier book with a stronger, more durable binding, I may or may not actually use 2 of these as a signature, but for this pamphlet, there's just going to be 1 signature, which means that all of the pages are going to be sewn along the center edge together. So I'm going to take those folded pages, make the pamphlet, this one big signature, and what you want to do is when you clip these together, which you'll see coming up, you want to hold the pages when they're laying flat, and those creases that you made are as aligned as you can make them along that center fold. That's the most important. So when you look at it from the end, you should see the crease of the fold. Those should all be aligned on top of each other. So I realized it would be better if I marked the center line a little more strongly than just the crease for when I'm sewing. So I'm clipping this with those pages aligned along the center. And I'm ready to go sew. So I have a heavyweight machine that didn't have a problem going through this paper. If you have a household machine, you might want to just carefully test this out. Use a brand new super sharp needle and just go slowly. You can even sometimes hand crank what your machine won't do automatically just using the motor to get through these pages. I used a thread weight that's similar to quilting thread, and I reversed it each end to lock those stitches. Then I just trim the paper, trim the threads. I probably left about a 1/4 of an inch at each end. Again, this is for practicing and swatching, and so it's cute, but it's not perfect. So now I'm just trimming the cover to match the widest sheets of paper. You could cut them perfectly so they align, but you're just losing watercolor surface area, and so I was trying to maximize the use of this paper. And so now it's not gonna stay closed very easily because of the weight of the paper, but you can set it overnight under some weights and then use something like this to hold it closed.